Today's the day I become an official booktuber because this is my first ever TBR jar picks my monthly TBR video. I'm beyond pumped to be making this video today. I love watching these videos, so I know I'm gonna have so much fun making my own. If you guys missed my last video, I set up and organized my new book cart, which is going to serve as my TBR cart. And then I also came up with a bunch of prompts and added them to the TBR jar. So if you wanna see what all prompts are in this jar and all of the books that are currently on my physical TBR, then definitely go check out that video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into picking my August TBR. The basic concept of this video is that I will pick out, I think I'm gonna do 6 prompts from the TBR jar and then pick books that will fit those prompts, and then that'll be the list of books that I'm aiming to read for August. Why am I nervous to pick my first prompt? This is so exciting. Okay, here we go. So I got an author's debut novel. Immediately what comes to mind is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. This is one that's been on my mind for a while. I've read Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World kind of interconnected standalone series, and before she released those, she has a similar interconnected trilogy. I'm gonna check on my phone and see if this was her debut novel. Okay, yes, The Friend Zone was Abby's debut. So that's definitely one on my radar, on my mind for this prompt. Okay, I went through all of my romance books on this shelf and I did find one debut. This is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. So this is another option from the physical TBR. So the main character in this book is Bee, and she's a plus-sized fashion blogger, and she loves watching this show called Main Squeeze, which I think is just supposed to be like Bachelor, Bachelorette. And she gets a call that they want her to be the lead. I think because of her online presence maybe as a fashion blogger, and she feels like the show needs more body diversity, so she decides to do it, but she doesn't want to actually fall in love, and then there's some complicated, you know, feelings that arise and things like that. So I think this one sounds honestly really good. I've been putting it off for honestly no reason, really, just I haven't heard that much about it, but my friend Allison actually told me she loved this one and really recommended it, so that has been making me want to put it on my TBR soon. Oh, I think The Ministry of Time is a debut. The Ministry of Time is another debut on my physical TBR. So this is by, oh, I looked this up, I think it's Colleen Bradley is how you pronounce the author's name, but forgive me if I'm wrong. This book has been blowing up lately, so I'm very tempted to read this one as well. I think A Good Girl's Guide to Murder might be debut, which is honestly kind of crazy. Yeah, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is Holly Jackson's debut, so that's another option. I've made my decision. I think for an author's debut novel, I'm gonna go with The Ministry of Time. This one has just been blowing up lately and I'm really curious about it. And I also feel like I'm in a really romancy mood, so I feel like I'm gonna end up choosing some of those anyway. So I thought this was a good excuse to go ahead and put one that's a little bit more just like general lit fic. I even think this may be a little bit like sci-fi. It has like some time travel in it and it's set in the near future, so I just thought it was kind of a good different vibe to put on my TBR. So I wanted to take advantage of that with this prompt because I feel like I'm probably gonna lean into the romance with some of the others. So first book on our TBR is The Ministry of Time. Okay, time for prompt number 2. A book that one of your favorite booktubers loves. Okay, I feel like the first book that comes to mind for this one is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I haven't read anything by Kristen Hanna, so I'm very tempted by this one. However, it is very long. It's like over 500 pages, so it's a little intimidating to me for that reason, but I am super interested in it, really excited about the premise. Would love to get into Kristen Hanna as well. I'm really intrigued by this one because I love stories about women and friendship and it just sounds up my alley. The booktuber who I love who gave this 5 stars is Sara. I think she read it back in like April or May and she was just gushing about it, and so that definitely made me want to read it even more. Another book that came to mind for this prompt is Out on a Limb. I heard Rachel Catherine just absolutely raving about this book. She gave it 5 stars in a recent wrap-up, I'm pretty sure. So this one's definitely on my radar. I think I might read this one on the Kindle if I have it because I don't have it on my physical TBR, but it's also nice to have a few Kindle books planned for the TBR, so I'm tempted to do that as well. But I think I have to just go with my first instinct, which is Firefly Lane. I'm gonna add this one to the August TBR. Okay, time for our third prompt. Let's shake up the jar, get some good luck. Okay, here we go. The first book in a series you want to start. This is exciting. The first book that comes to mind for this one is Fourth Wing. I've been talking about how I want to start Fourth Wing, I think for like months now, and I do really want to read this one soon. I know I'm gonna love it, but I've just been hesitant to dive in because I know I'm just gonna get completely sucked in. in. But I do want to read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame before 2024 is over, so it could be good to go ahead and start this one in August. I also really want to read the Throne of Glass series probably this fall, and I thought it might be good for me to go ahead and read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in like August, September, so that I can have some space in October, November, and December to do Throne of Glass, because I don't want to be doing multiple fantasy series at once, I don't think. And I've just heard so many good things about this one, of course, so this one's kind of the obvious pick to me. But another one is Divine Rivals. This is a duology, so the second book is called Ruthless Vows. This one feels a little less intimidating to me. It's not quite as long. I think it's like, let's see how many pages, 350-ish pages, so just a little more light, a little less intimidating. So I also feel like this could be a good place to start and to do Divine Rivals in August and Ruthless Vows, and then I could always do Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in September. So I don't know. Plus Divine Rivals is on Kindle Unlimited, but I think my Libby hold is about to come up for Fourth Wing, which means I could read either of these on my Kindle, which is nice because they're just chunky hardbacks. So because of my Libby hold, actually now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should do Fourth Wing. So I think I'm gonna go with Fourth Wing. Wish me luck. I know I'm gonna love it. I'm just slightly intimidated. I have a pretty intimidating TBR so far, you guys. All right, so adding Fourth Wing to the August TBR. Okay, we're halfway done. We have 3 more prompts to go. Okay. A book with the color yellow on the cover. I think I know what I want to do for this one, but let's go ahead and look through and see which ones we can find that have yellow. Part of me is like, do I put Iron Flame on here because I'm already gonna be reading Fourth Wing? I don't know that I really count this as yellow though. It's more of like a gold, and I think I want to stick to like actual yellow. This one definitely has yellow on the cover, but it's more so this side bar over there that it's not as much of the cover. The last thing he told me has a yellow spine, but again, that's not the cover. The guest list has yellow writing. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan has yellow text on the cover. But the one that I originally thought of was The Love of My Afterlife. I guess I don't really have one that's like a full yellow cover. Honestly, I just want to read this in August, so I'm picking it, and it has yellow on the cover, so it fits. This is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I'm super excited for this book, and I've heard great things. This book is about a woman named Delphi who ends up choking on a microwavable burger and going to the afterlife waiting room. And when she's there, she sees the hottest man she's ever seen in her life in front of her while she's in her pajamas. And she starts to talk to this man in the afterlife waiting room, and they really hit it off. And I guess she's offered a deal to go back to Earth, and if she can find him within 10 days, then maybe she gets a second chance at life. That's kind of what I'm picking up on. I don't know if that's the full story, but I think that's the general concept for this book. This is one that I just really wanted to read in August. I thought it would be a really nice kind of summer to fall transition book because it's a little bit spooky with the afterlife concept of it all, and also just like reflective with the second chance of life part of it all, but also hopefully a little bit lighthearted and a little bit of a rom-com with some of the romance involved. So I thought it had a little bit of everything, and I just thought it might be a nice kind of palette cleanser for August. So considering we have a lot of like chunkier, longer, intimidating books, I think this would be a fun one to throw in the mix. I also wanted to say that in August, I am planning to go to the beach for a week, so I'm hoping to read a lot then, but I do prefer to read on my Kindle when I'm at the beach just because of the sand and the sun and the glare, which maybe sounds silly, but I just feel like my books sometimes get like the pages bent, or they get sand in them, or they get like water on them, and it's just really easy to like wipe my Kindle down and keep it clean, versus my books, I just feel like they get kind of like roughed up in my beach bag. So I definitely want to try to get maybe some more Kindle books for the last two. I'm gonna be able to read Fourth Wing on my Kindle, but I want to make sure I get a few options that maybe on Kindle Unlimited or just where I'll read them on my Kindle. I like doing about half and half. I know that we have my physical TBR and I definitely want to get through it, but I also want to use my Kindle since I bought it and I love using it too. So just a little bit of both is important to me. But also in August, it's my birthday at the end of the month, so I need to think about what I might want to be reading around my birthday and making sure that I'm not getting into a slump or anything like that, and seeing if maybe there's like a lighthearted book that I want to read around then. So another thing I'm thinking about when picking the last two books. All right, let's do the next prompt. Oh, I love this. A book that matches the current season. Okay, so August is still summer to me. I know that we're kind of getting into back to school, a little bit back to college football, and it feels a little bit like fall at the end of August, but I really want to try to savor summer in August and enjoy the last of my summer reads. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to get any books that are on my summer TBR added before the end of the summer with this prompt.
The Hobbit.
No. I'm thinking...
Evicted.
It's not a summer read. Go to the gym.
Lottie.
Okay. love you. Okay, I have a lot that are popping up in my head. I think for the most part, I'm thinking about like new release summer romances, like some of the books that I didn't get to in my reading new release summer romance books for a week vlog. So the two at the top of my head are Swan Song by Ellen Hildebrand, which I don't have a physical copy of, but I would just get on my Kindle. Actually, I think my mom might have a physical copy because her book club was doing that book, I think for July or August. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Heard really good things about The Paradise Problem. I feel like everyone's giving it like 4 stars. I mean, I know it's not like a 5-star read from everyone, but considering it's a summer romance, I'm very interested in that one. Those two are top of mind. I also feel like Done and Dusted could be good, but I don't know if that's set in the summer or if it's more of like a spring vibe. Like, I don't know. You could kind of read that one any time of the year, so I definitely want to make sure I'm picking one that's like set in the summer. I think I'm gonna go with Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren because I'm just really excited about that one. So I'll probably just read it on my Kindle because I also really want to get the paperback version of that book because my other Christina Lauren books that I have are in paperback and I want them all to like match. The Paradise Problem right now is only available in hardback. I don't want it to not match my other Christina Lauren books. Sorry. It kind of annoys me when publishers do this, like give me the paperback or give me death. I'm gonna wait 6 months just to buy the paperback if I really like the book and want to put it in my library, or I'm just gonna read it on my Kindle and that's fine too. I think that'll be a perfect book to read while I'm at the beach, so I'm excited to have that one to read while I'm there, and maybe I'll also read Fourth Wing since I'll be able to read that one on my Kindle. So that is the 5th book that we're putting on our August TBR. I'm really excited for The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Okay, let's pick our 6th and final prompt for the August TBR. A book with an odd number of pages. Interesting. That gives us a lot of choices. I'm gonna go on Goodreads and just look through a few books on my TBR and look at the page count to see if there's any that work for this. Before I let go, which is literally right here, I already have my phone out and it has 376 pages, so it's an even number. So we can't do that one. I'm still kind of interested in The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez and it has 372, so another even number. This is harder than I thought. Why do all of these books have even number of pages? Okay, I'm gonna look up Out on a Limb. I know I talked about that one earlier in this video. Okay, this one has 397, so Out on a Limb is an option. I feel like I want to add another thriller to the list. I do have The Guest List and The Last Thing He Told Me, but I feel like The Guest List, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as summery to me for some reason, and maybe I'm wrong, but okay, this is 319 according to Goodreads, so this is a contender as well. This one has 307 pages, so another odd number of pages. We're finally having some luck with the odd numbers, so I feel like maybe one of these or Out on a Limb. I'm trying to figure out which one I think would be a better like fast-paced beach read thriller, because I feel like I typically like reading romance at the beach, but I figured since I already have 2 on my TBR, I might want to mix it up. The description of this book just seems like really chaotic, so I just don't know if I'm ready for this one. I know that these are both really popular thrillers though, which is why I got them both for my physical TBR, but I think I'm gonna go with The Last Thing He Told Me though. Based on a few non-spoilery Goodreads reviews, it seems like this one is a little more like a psychological thriller and like mystery, and there's a little bit of romance. I think that seems a little bit more up my alley. I just feel like everyone's read this and I need to read it, so I'm gonna put it on my TBR. Okay everyone, so those are the 6 books that I've picked for my August TBR. I know this is 5, but we do have the one Paradise Problem for Kindle. I'm gonna move these books to the bottom shelf so we can put the August TBR on the top. Okay, quick recap. I'm gonna be reading The Ministry of Time by Colleen Bradley, Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, so I'll be reading that one on my Kindle, and The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. Okay, so here is my August TBR. I'm super excited to hopefully read these books in August. We'll see how many of them I get to, fingers crossed all of them, but I think the book I'm most excited for is Fourth Wing, just because I'm ready to know what all the hype is about. But honestly, I'm really excited for all of them. I feel like this is a pretty diverse TBR. If you all want to read any of these books in August as well, I definitely encourage you to, so we can have a little unofficial book club. Let me know what you're looking forward to reading in August, whether it's one of these books or something completely different. And be sure to subscribe down below if you are new here. I'd love to have you join so you don't miss a video. And I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see you in another one very soon. Bye!